Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Hope you guys had an awesome day today. I know it was a pretty good day out there today, although it was a little bit choppier, but it's also been a bit of a choppier this week. Tuesday, Wednesday was amazing. Yesterday was kind of choppy. If you watched my video yesterday, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And today, it was a pretty good day. It really was not a bad day at all, but there's some things I want to talk about because there were still some mental woes today that was weighing on me that caused me to maybe execute a little bit poorer than I should have today. Now, what I want to start with, and I'll try and do this a little bit quickly so I don't take up too much of your time. I know it's Friday. I want you guys to go enjoy your weekend. So let's get going here and talk through some stuff. So we came into the open today, and I was watching really four main setups. We had INHD, Hour, and a couple of others. But really going into the open, I wasn't really watching PAPL for whatever reason. I don't think I saw it. And so knowing that I had missed this, already caused a lot of tilt at market open for me. Now, thankfully, I stayed composed. I didn't go chase this, and I actually took a nice play on it. We'll talk about how I caught it, why I caught it, the whole 9 yards. But this right here had me so tilted because this was a picture perfect, amazing setup. Look at this. Big move here going up into 925, pulls back and puts in place this nice range going into market open. Incredible setup over this pre-market high at 480. And so this thing looks so good. And I didn't even see it. For whatever reason, I had totally missed the setup. I don't know, it's slipping underneath my radar. Whatever stuff happens, we're all human. So I missed this entry here where I would have wanted to take this at the market open at 520 for the breakup higher up through 578. And I just completely miss it. And then as it's going, let me get my pin tool. As it's going, guess what? It never pulls back. And so this thing here just and rockets and just never pulls back. By the time it pulls back on a candle that I don't like, we have this big move to the upside here. Then it knifes back down, retest this low. Of course, I'm not going to take it there because this is a massive sign of indecision. So what do I want to see first? I want to see it break to the upside and confirm the upside direction first. And so I sit back and I wait. And I'm looking all through here for my entries. I'm just watching it all through here for entries, and it never pulls back. And then here it's a bad pullback. And then it gaps up again and gets locked into a halt. And so at this point, I am so frustrated because I'm watching this thing just go, and I can't even play it. It's not even pulling back for me. Then it finally pulls back. I don't like that pullback, and then it halts up. And I'm like, dude. So that's how the day is going to go. And then, so what we have happen here is this becomes an area of liquidity because we have this big wick off the high here. And so this area of liquidity becomes an area of supply. But once price breaks above, it becomes an area of demand because price is now confirmed that it likes price above that level. So price breaks above and halts up here, and then once it resumes, it pulls back, and we can use this area as confluence. And so I get this pullback to use this as an area of risk down here off of VWAP, and I actually nail a perfect trade here, as you can see out of the halt from 720 back to about 778. And so capture a really good play here, as you can see, literally off the pullback here, 2AT. I could not have asked for a better trade. Now, it then puts in place a range off the highs here, and could I have traded this more than I did? Probably, but I was still like, I don't really have much cushion on this, so do I really want to get too aggressive? And the answer to that is really no. And so this range is getting tighter. I take it off the pullback for a small little win. It rejects off the high again, and I go ahead and take the exit. Move on back from that and sit back with my profit. So this is how the day started. So I'm already starting the day on a pretty frustrating note because it's like, dude, I just missed this whole move because I didn't even see this at market open, and then it just rockets, never pulls back once. At least most of the time, if I miss a setup, I can at least go look for a pullback and ride the momentum. But in this case of here, I just couldn't do it. So I just couldn't do it. It just is what it is. While this was running, oh, Skag, we didn't really do a whole lot on. We had INHD. Had INHD, which I loved today. This was a great look. Check this out. We also had a beautiful breakout here. Check this out. Where this actually broke out in a pretty major way here on the 15-minute time frame. Break of this wedge looked phenomenal. And so I was looking for that move back higher, and I came in here with smaller size because the issue was we had a pretty wide spread. We're looking at about a 15-cent spread on this, and so I had that in my mind. Going into this, you can see here we were playing off the high of day, and I was looking for the break back up through the mid-10s. I didn't get that, and I took a really small loss here. You can see from 995 down to 980. I mean, really small loss. And so that was that. This is actually my only red ticker of the morning. Go figure. Traded PAPL really well. Again, that pullback was fruitful. Then we went over to OPAD. And then honestly, I liked this today. You got to think this was direct sympathy to Open. And I'm sure a lot of you have been keeping up with Open. And it's been that big meme stock as of late. I saw this thing get breaking out today on OPAD on the break of this previous high going up over 550. And I was trying to look for this past area of liquidity to sort of act as confluence here as well for the curls back up through sixes. and we just didn't get that follow through. And so again, I'm taking after pullback here. And all seriousness, I'll be honest here, I traded it a little bit too many times. I think I was hung up on this because of missing that trade on PAPL. And you can see here I maybe traded it more than I should have. I took wins on it, don't get me wrong. I didn't really get chopped on it, but I took way too many trades. And taking more trades like this really hurts confidence and then hurts execution elsewhere. And so it just makes you put in this scalpy tempo, which I really didn't want today to end the week. So you can see here a lot of really small little wins, little loss, and then 2 wins to end here. But really, I should have left this thing alone after it began to trade the way that it did because we had this higher low. As it cracked, I really should have just taken it off the list. But I was so set on trying to get this thing to make the move. I traded it well, don't get me wrong, but probably should have traded it a little bit less as it moves to the backside. But now, moving on to last but not least, which was the absolute best setup of this morning, was Hour. And this was actually on last night's watch list as well. I'll show you here. This was on last night's watch list here for the break over that 215 level, and I wasn't expecting this to hit what it did today. It hit over $5. And so definitely made a big move from last night's watch list. Again, the watch list gave this to you guys at 215 last night. This thing looked insane, and actually, like I said, hit over 530s, 540s today. So really an awesome setup here. I'll actually show you what I was looking for here, in a very similar setup to INHD, actually, the one that I'm actually red on today. But the difference is this one actually gave us some good follow through. And so what we'll have happen here is take a look. We have this lower high going into the open today. We had the break of this wedge. You'll see right here the break of the wedge over VWAP. As it breaks out, again, look for that confirmation and just rode the momentum here. And so you'll see right here where price broke out of that wedge, you have right here, I took this 3-bar setup to the highs here where we have this first green candle to VWAP. Second green candle confirms off of VWAP. Third candle breaks over the highs, which also happens to be in line with, look at the confluence here, also happens to be in line with this past area of liquidity drawn from pre-market. And so risking off the bottom of these wicks here from pre as my area of risk. And it's also this 340 level too. So again, this just looked fantastic. And so took it there for the ride up through the highs, was able to grab it there from 350 to about 370. And then again, came back and tried to play it up to the highs here on the 1-minute pullbacks. You'll see right here. The only thing that I can say that I should not have done through here, and again, I'm saying this as if I lost something. It wasn't a losing trade. But I'll show you one that I do regret taking today. Now, this one here, I don't really regret too much. It was a good setup. I just didn't get any follow through, and I traded it very well. You can see here, I took this here off this pullback in this range. After we have this 1-minute doji form, I was looking for this 1 minute to follow through higher, to continue this squeeze, because this move had so much strength behind it. I was looking for the move higher, and of course, it ended up making the move, and I caught it. So, again, what happens here is we have this lower low, candle breaks down to the new low and breaks down. Well, then buyers come back in and reclaim trend. And so what do? I take the re-entry, risking the bottom of this candle for the move back higher. And then again, I capture a beautiful play there from 360s to 390. And so at that point, I'm sitting pretty good. But where I screw up today on this, I played it pretty much perfectly aside from this. Right here off the high, I try to do what I did here, and it didn't work here. It's been overextended. It's even more extended here. So why am I taking this? We've got a VWAP way down here in the mid threes. And I think all this comes back down to that PAPL that I missed at market open, and so I was trying to almost take up ground here. Really, I'm trying to and pick up where I missed really, and trying to make that up, and it caused me to force a trade here that I really shouldn't have taken. Now, albeit I just took it with very small size, playing with some profits. But that's the thing, is mentally what I find myself doing. Of course, these were all full size trades back here. But as we get up into the highs like this, and I take a trade that's not as quality, I'll always tell myself, look, I'm just going to trade with some profits. I'm just going to play with lotto size. But it's like, at that point, what's the point of giving back some profits if it's not a good setup? But anyways, so I took this here with lotto size. Of course, didn't get a great move. Got a little bit chopped around through here. I took a nice little win off this pullback off the previous high of day. This was not too bad. This was really the only way to trade this through here properly. I got it from 4 to about 420s. And then up to the highs, played with some lottos up here. But that's the one thing this morning that I can look back at and say, oh, I didn't do this too well. It was really only this entry right here, which was just with lotto size. I played with runners, gave back a smidge of profits, a couple bucks. It still ended the day on a nice note, but that's pretty much to sum it up how the day went. So that's the recap of this morning. A nice little day to end the week. Definitely a nice green day, but I'm just hoping for some cleaner stuff next week. Overall execution was on point today. There's, of course, some things like these pullbacks here that are a little bit too extended away from VWAP and moving averages that I need to be doing away with, like these up here. But again, just everything. We always have something to work with as we go into every day. So that's what I'll be working on next week, is taking less trades that have little nuances like this. But again, a lot of tiltiness from either PAPL and HWH yesterday still sort of left lingering into the weekend. So Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button for daily content just like this. And as always, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial to watch me trade stocks just like this in real time every single day and get access to my watch list, alerts, education, chat room access, and so much more. You can find that link down in the description below. And that being said, I will see you guys there.